Two.
Let me take a good sip of my tea, because I'm the world's best dentist.
You know what I can't wait to buy you one day?
What?
World's best dad mug.
Ooh, I'm surprised I haven't gotten one yet.
Well, I mean, like you were a dad on Father's Day, but like not technically.
Oh, yeah, because you didn't give birth yet.
Right.
Bow, 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 bow. Welcome back, guys. This is Jay.
And I'm Molly.
And this is the Unscripted Conversations
Why are you
podcast. Because you delayed.
I always like have that second delay so that it's all about me for like that second.
Oh, okay. Okay, I feel you. Welcome back, guys. Sorry for the rough, tumbled kind of voice. I'm kind of getting over a cold right now, so.
He's being a man baby for all of my ER friends.
A little man baby. You know, I hate being sick.
Yeah, you're really bad at being sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if
but
I cough,
I understand that too, you know.
Yeah, your body
Who
just feels
likes being
run
sick?
down. You can't breathe. You can't talk without coughing. Surprisingly, nobody has said that I had asked if I had COVID.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, coughing in hallways and stuff. But nobody has asked me if I had COVID.
Damn.
I guess it's not a big deal.
I guess we're moving on.
We're moving on. A cough is a cough.
A cough is a cough. Love it.
So if see there, this podcast must go on. So if you hear like a little mild coughing in the background, I'm gonna do my best to move the mic away from my mouth. But if you hear me coughing, I'm just getting over a little sickness.
Yeah.
A little cold. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Stand a little taller.
It's
because I didn't know the rest of the lyrics. That's why I stopped. Okay, so if you haven't already guessed, we're very musically inclined on this episode because that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
Is music, the arts.
The arts.
I'm going to talk about our backgrounds in music that we like, musical instruments that we played.
Yep. What music means to us.
What music means to us, what musicals we've seen. Look at that, a lot of music. Gotta think about a good title for this. Catchy.
Let's not.
Music.
Let's not do what concerts have we gone to, because your list would be the whole podcast.
I do have to like maybe just make a little segment of concerts, because one of the fondest like memories or experiences I've had in my life was going to concerts with like friends and with my sister. So
and that's one thing we've never done together, and it still hurts my feelings.
Well, we were in COVID years, and we never.
Yeah, but you've seen like
Summerfest.
all the artists that like I've wanted to see. Okay, we'll get to it.
Yeah. We'll get to
should we start off with a bold question or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bold question.
This is a good one. I don't know if I know the answer to this one for you.
Yeah, let's do it.
What is the best way to give you criticism?
What is the best way to give me criticism? I think the best way for it to get to me would be to put it bluntly.
That doesn't hurt your feelings?
It might, but that's probably the best way
Okay.
it's gonna get to me and get my attention.
Okay. Interesting.
If you skirt
Give me an
around
example.
it, huh?
Give me an example.
I think you're a man baby when you're sick.
I know, but I
I
kind
was
of
like, you're just a baby when you're sick.
I kind of joke about it, but I'm actually also kind of really serious, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
See, but I think in the moment it might hurt my feelings, but it's getting to me. So I think that's the best way. But then you follow it up by saying, hey, I understand you're sick.
But suck it up.
Suck it up.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm there for you. Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
I feel like I accept criticism. That was really loud.
That was really loud.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I feel like I accept criticism, but sometimes I need to like take a step back and like just listen to the person before getting defensive. So I think for me, I might need to be like told like, hey, like just stop and listen. Let me tell you what I'm saying. Go and process it and come back and we'll talk about it. I think that's probably me.
Okay.
Because otherwise I feel like I would get too defensive. But
Yeah.
I also do appreciate structured criticism, because everyone has their flaws. Everyone has moments when they need to be reminded of something or taught something or, told, hey, you're not doing such a great job. Like maybe try it like this, and you have to be able to accept that. So I really do. But I also like in reflection feel like I am probably kind of the person who's like, but I am really doing good.
So
or
like, So you're kind of like sensitive then.
Yeah, I'm sensitive.
Yeah. So you'd much rather have somebody kind of ease into it.
Yeah, I think I need a little bit of ease.
And then once you realize what they're trying to do, then you kind of warm up.
I think I need a positive thing before the criticism.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
yeah,
Molly, you're the best person I've ever met in the world. And don't say but, because then that just negates everything.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could try to work on this.
Though we can work on this. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I hear you.
This is also another good question on this card. What things do you think are too serious to be joked about?
Dang. Religion. I think the things that you're not supposed to talk about in relationships. Politics. Religion. Like
sexuality. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No. I was just trying to think like the big things right now in society.
Politics and religion, I think, are two things you shouldn't, and race maybe, because
I was gonna say race.
A little hairy with the race, with the racial.
But things. I feel like, yes, politics and religion, but at the same time, people joke about that all the time.
Yeah.
But I know there's a line. There's
a
line
for
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the line is getting like a little bit more and more exposed.
Yes.
So that the line is fat. It's not a thin line anymore. It's like a fat line. You can't miss it. You don't cross this line. Yeah. So those are good questions. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into our topic today. So today we're going to talk about the arts.
Yeah.
Music, dance, theater. So let's start from the beginning. Like what was your first experience with music?
The first experience that I remember with music, and this is probably more like my mom telling me this, but then like now I do it all the time with Conrad, is I used to just always sing. I don't remember how I learned like, oh, this is music and you sing. I don't know. Maybe my mom always sang to me. I think that's probably actually something she actually really did. So I used to like swing on a swing set in our backyard and just like make up songs and sing at the top of my lungs.
Really?
Yes. And if you ask my neighbors that I used to live next to, Phyllis and Gary, they would tell you like, yes, they used to sit in their house and laugh, like chuckle, like, cause they enjoyed just like watching me do this as a child.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So when you were singing, were you making up your own songs, you said?
Yeah.
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 There was no rhyme or reason.
No, you would have to ask my mom, but like now I do that with Conrad. Instead of talking to Conrad, our son, I'll like start singing, but it's always like a tune I know, but I don't know that I did that when I was younger. I think I just sang,
Yeah. That's cool. So, when you were growing up, did you kind of gravitate towards like choir, or were you kind of like encouraged to do choir because you were in like a Catholic? I think you went to Catholic school, right?
Yeah. I started in a public school and then went to Catholic school. And I remember in public school, when I was in first grade, they were like handing out forms or whatever to play the violin or some string instrument like that, cello stuff. And I really wanted to do that. And for whatever reason, I think my mom said no. And I'm not really sure why. I would have to ask her, And then I moved into my private school, Catholic private school. And there was always a music class, which I feel like most schools have. But then there was always a choir. So like in our private school, we always had mass on a Friday as a school in the morning. And each grade would be like the choir for the week. So then you were part of the choir and you always had to learn the songs more than the rest of the school and stuff and, whatever. But then there was always a soloist too who did the song in between the first and second reading, or first reading and the homily or gospel. And I always wanted to be that person, so I did that a lot. And then as like I grew up and did that, people started not liking me so much for always being the person who got to do that, which was hard. Yes. Yeah. But also they weren't the ones trying out or wanting to do it either. So they were always mad that I was the one being chosen, but then they weren't the ones also wanting to do it. So I got bullied a lot for that, like growing up. And then we had like Christmas programs and like, you know, stuff. And I was Mary in one of those and had a huge solo. And the night of the performance, I forgot the last verse. Like I was singing and then like went back. It was like the last verse was similar to the first verse. So I started and then like totally like
blanked.
Yep, gone. My
Stage
mom has
fright?
a total stage fright. Like, of course, like, you know, I feel like everyone does, right? But I don't think that was a problem. I think I just totally like spaced.
Gotcha.
And then I picked it up and most people didn't even know that like I did that. Like didn't even know that like I actually forgot the words. It was just part of the song.
Making stuff up.
Just going with it. Yeah. And then also with that, my mom has to find the thing for you. And if we find it, I will make sure we like make a reel of it. But it was a nice, slow song. It was like, that's actually the song, by the way. Still remember it. So it was like just nice and slow, but I was literally bopping to it to keep the rhythm. So like I was like, and like bouncing.
Mary
yes.
was freaking.
Yes. Hilarious. It's so funny. Yeah. So I remember like everyone was laughing. I'll say at me, but like the parents that really enjoyed it, they were chuckling because I was just so cute. I was in 4th grade, I think, for that. Okay. So, I mean, that like kind of leads up to like high school, and then that's a whole nother thing. And then in grade school, I started playing the flute for a year. My teacher quit at the Catholic school. We had a big old band. We all started playing these instruments. She decided to leave. My mom kept asking me, do you want to keep playing the flute? Do you want to keep playing the flute? And I was like, yeah, man, I don't know. She'll tell me I said no. I don't think I ever actually said no. She never found me another teacher. Flute's gone. Yep. I still blame her for that, but sorry, Mom.
Man, I don't have that great of a story. I think all my friends were in elementary school when I was growing up in Hawaii. A lot of my friends were in the choir, and I was like, sure, I'll join the choir. You know, I just want to be with my buddies, you know. And we were like a legit choir where we had like uniforms.
Damn.
I remember there were white pants,
white,
with this pink Hawaiian print shirt.
That's cool.
I should find a photo of it.
You should.
But yeah, that was my first exposure to singing with a group.
Yeah.
My family, you know, we're Asians, and so we had karaoke. We had these, they call them laser discs. They're like the size of like vinyls, and you put them in like laser disc, almost like a big CD player, and it's karaoke music.
Oh.
And we had cases and cases of this stuff.
I'm not familiar with that. That's interesting.
Yeah. And I remember like we would have family get-togethers, and like the uncles and my dad and my aunts and my mom would be like take turns singing. So
that's cool.
Karaoke was a big thing in our family.
So like, and I've never heard like your family really sing except for like the cousins, you know, in some of those videos and stuff. Like, do your parents have good voices, or is it just like
it's, I mean,
just for fun?
For fun, but also like they can hold a tune.
Okay.
Like notes.
Okay.
Like it may not have the vibrato, you know, it may not have
I mean, they're not
the
like
elegance of like a professional.
They're not Shania Twain or anything.
Yeah.
But they can sing. Like we can.
They're not tone deaf.
Okay, good.
So like when my mom and dad sing, especially my dad, he sings the right notes in the song.
Do they have the accent? Like,
a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know how some people like when they sing, like that accent kind of goes away, and then
how English people like Adele sounds American when she sings. Yeah, absolutely. I think it goes away when they sing songs, but majority of the songs, that they would sing would be Filipino songs anyways.
Oh, so I wouldn't even know what they are.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, like my dad would sing like Bruce Springsteen, and he'll sing like Bee Gees and stuff like that, Eagles. Cool. So, yeah, it became like fun to do karaoke, and like the cousins would kind of get into and do karaoke, and my cousins have some good voices too. I mean, some of them, I don't know, they may be tone deaf, but no, I think we can carry a good tune. Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah. But, I mean, from then, I didn't do choir. When we moved to Vegas, I didn't do choir.
Okay.
Because then I was exposed to band instruments.
Okay.
So in my middle school, we could do either orchestra, band, or choir. And I always thought it was like, oh, it'd be cool to play an instrument instead. So I picked up the trumpet in middle school. And
why the trumpet?
Excuse me. I think because it was cool. It was a brass instrument, so it made you feel, I guess, manly. I don't know.
The trumpet made you feel manly.
Well, I wasn't gonna play the clarinet.
Well, no, but like, what about the saxophone?
I mean, not to be sexist or anything, but back then it was like you don't.
I know a lot of girls played flutes, clarinets.
Yeah,
it was rare for them to see them playing the saxophone or the trumpet or
it was
trombone.
Yeah, the drums.
Yep.
So, it's.
But what about the tuba? Why not the tuba?
I was a small guy.
That's true.
Yeah, I was a small guy.
What about the French horn, or was that more of a girly?
I don't want to say it was a girly because I had a friend, my good friend Travis, who was at our wedding.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to remember my band in 4th grade, you know?
Yeah. No, I think I gravitated toward the trumpet because it was cool. Like, I knew what the concept of jazz music was back then, so the trumpet was always the highlight.
Okay.
Trumpet would always be like the highlight of the song, you know? So I was like, I want to be at that instrument and stand out. And then that's where I met my good friend Tyler, who was always like first chair all through middle school. And then in high school, he was like second chair because obviously upperclassmen were very good. So, but when we were seniors, actually, no, I take that back. When we were juniors, he was actually a first chair trumpet player.
Wow.
First part. And so I was never at his caliber.
Why not?
I probably didn't put in enough time with practicing.
That's obviously what I figured.
I was doing enough to get by. And it was fun because, you know, going from middle school to high school, Las Vegas High School was like a premier high school to be a part of the marching band.
Yeah.
The marching band was really good.
Yeah.
They won competitions. They were known around the valley. So it was an honor to wear the Las Vegas High School marching band uniform. So I was like excited.
With the funny hats?
With the plume in the front.
Yeah.
A high school across town, Palo Verde, they had like cavalier hats. So it looks like cowboy hat, but the one side is flat and there's a feather. It's so slick. Like that uniform was pretty slick. But yeah, I think when I started playing the trumpet, I gained a great appreciation for music because
absolutely.
It was an instrument that, one, you could stand out on. Two, it was a popular instrument with any kind of ensemble. Yeah. You can play the trumpet in pep band. I was in pep band, marching band, wind ensemble, jazz band.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a very diverse instrument. Unlike like the flute. Right. You know, the flute we had in a pep band, but if you're in like a flute wasn't in a jazz band, you know what I mean? So it was an all-around instrument. I'm glad I chose that in middle school to do or to play.
Yeah, except you have never played it for me, but that's
I think I still have my trumpet at home.
We should ask.
I just don't know how to play it.
You would.
You have to train your lips, and I don't know. I don't think I can hit as high on a register that I used to. Because I don't get that part of
the trumpet. It's like there's only 3 things that change.
Yeah.
You know.
And you change it by your lips.
Yeah, it's crazy to me.
Yeah. But anyways, aside from you stop playing the flute
Yeah.
and only relying on your voice, what other instruments did you play?
Throughout my life, I joined the drum. It's not the drum band, drum line in college. So I learned how to play the snare drum a little bit. And then my mom has always wanted to learn how to play the piano, so we took piano lessons for a little bit. I actually got not good, decent. Like I actually was like, oh, I get this. Like I had friends who played the piano and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, it like kind of came together.
Yeah.
Which was cool, and I was like starting to learn how to play like slowly with both hands. I was good could play with the right, and then like the left, you just started like holding notes down.
Yep.
So that was cool. I always wanted to play the guitar, so my mom bought me a guitar. I never learned how to play it. I can't get my hands right.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Same. I mean, I took piano lessons.
I don't know if I knew you took lessons.
Yeah. I think I was in a piano class in, I think it was middle school. Yeah. And then tried to play the guitar because all the cool guys were getting all Rico Suave with the girls and playing guitar. And I'm like, oh, I want to play the guitar.
You can play the guitar.
But then I also did learn how to play the ukulele back in Hawaii when I was little.
So cool.
So that was actually part of our curriculum.
Really?
Yeah, we had like Hawaiian studies. And
jeez.
Playing the ukulele was part of the class too.
That's so cool. Did your grandpa help like teach you that?
My grandpa can play the ukulele like freaking crazy.
I know.
Yeah. My grandpa is like the jack of all trades. He knows how to do anything and everything. Plays any instruments. He can play the harmonica really well.
That's so cool.
He can play the ukulele really well. He has a really nice ukulele. I don't even know what happened, if he still has it, but it's made out, I think, koa wood.
That thing is sweet.
Sweet. Yeah, he's so good at it. He can play the guitar too. And the mandolin, which is like another guitar.
We should see if your parents could, like, if they have the ukulele, like bring it to him and see if
that'd be
he
cool.
would like be able to pluck out a few notes. You know?
Maybe
that'd be kind of cool.
We'll see.
What else did you do? Did you like do musicals or anything in high school?
I didn't really do musicals because I was afraid to.
Why?
I just stage fright. I hate being in front of people.
Yeah, but you could have been in the band.
I could have been in the pit, yeah. But it was extra time. And back then, like, after school, you just want to go hang out with your friends. You don't want to go do pit practice, during the school year.
Oh, but like band practice and pep band practice was cool.
No, we never had that. Well, marching band practice was before school. So I never had to, like... After school, it was just like, man, I gotta go do homework, and I'm gonna go hang out with my friends.
Huh.
And when I started driving, I was like chilling with my buddies.
Interesting.
And then girlfriends, of course, so.
What?
That was my high school years. Okay, so back off. Just kidding.
Interesting.
What about you?
Were
you in musicals?
Yeah, kind of. We had like lame musicals at my high school because the musical director wouldn't repeat any musicals that had already been done, which is dumb.
That's stupid.
Because
even though it's been years?
Yeah.
Wow.
So like we did like Rags, which was on like Broadway for like a season, if that, like, so just dumb stuff that nobody knew anything about. So I didn't always go out for them because I was like boring. But I was in the choir, and then I did church singing still. So like we had cantors, obviously. So I did that with like a bunch of high school kids, and then my church paid for me to go to something called the National Catholic Youth Choir in Minnesota.
Okay.
So like we were supposed to learn our music before we went, but of course none of us like totally did. And we did an extensive like learning a whole show, or well, yeah, I guess a show. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Concert.
For like a week, and then we went on tour for a week to a bunch of all these like
that's
Catholic,
cool.
like churches and like sang, and it was really cool because the director was a like national or world renowned director. So like also one of the years we went to a convention where he like taught other choir directors how to teach, you know, their kids how to sing and stuff, and we were like his puppets, you know, so he showed how he taught us and like did all this stuff, and it was amazing. It was so cool. I met such like cool people and good friends.
Now you're a soprano singer, right?
Mm-hmm. Which for people who don't know, that's like the highest
melody.
in the melody and stuff. Which
melody. She had to just be the melody. She had to be in the main part.
Yeah,
Always
the easy part.
It's funny because whenever we're in the car, like
I can't harmonize.
Songs, like I'm the one harmonizing because that's all like as a tenor.
Right.
That's like all
but the
we
tenor
did.
Like sings the melody too. It's just
Only
you're the lower octave, so that's why it's like
sometimes, not all the time.
Between the guy parts, you're the melody.
The melody.
Like tenors and sopranos are like the same people and the different voices. You know, I know what you're saying, but like, yes.
But if you have a legit soprano singer, the tenor is the harmonizer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyways.
So I can't harmonize because of that.
Yeah. Speaking about music, we have a wide variety of interest in music. Growing up, I would listen to every single genre.
Yeah.
I think the only genre of music that I didn't actually like was opera. I appreciate the art. I never liked listening to opera or like the style of music of opera. I never liked it. Some people would listen to opera and classical at the same time or like for studying. I could never do it.
I think I had a more of appreciation for that in classical music because that's what we sang so much in choir. And so, and then when we did, we had competitions throughout the year too. So like solos and stuff. And I can't remember exactly what it was called, but like you had to pick a song, and a lot of those songs are like classical songs. And I did one that was like part of an opera, and it was, it was really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I will sing it for you sometime. I have to kind of remember it, but I have the sheet music somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's crazy?
It was fun. It was like, and all of it's in different languages, which is also just crazy.
Well, isn't it like mostly Latin?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
A lot of that is like Latin music. So let's take a step back. Music styles. So what kind of music did you listen to when you were in high school?
I would say it was a lot of musicals because of like choir. Like we just listened, like Wicked came out then, Rent came out then, or were like really big. So me and my friends, like we knew every single song, every single word to both of those musicals. Okay. So like when we were in choir and we were just like having some downtime, we would sneak onto the stage pitch black and like just like sing our lungs out a cappella. Like
nerds.
It was.
I'm just kidding.
Total nerds.
That's cool. Did you have like what was your favorite kind of music?
That's so hard for me because I feel like you saying you grew up like your parents listened to music, you guys did karaoke, all this stuff. I feel like we didn't do that. Like my mom knew I liked singing and stuff, so I had a karaoke machine, but like we didn't like listen to music. Like we didn't, I don't know. Like it was just, I would have to ask her because like I don't remember like we would listen to music in the car, but it was the CD that I like wanted. So like it was the musicals or like, you know, before then it was Britney Spears and NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. And we knew all those songs. And I really liked Billy Ray Cyrus because I think she liked him, and Achy Breaky Heart was my jam.
Yeah.
Like in grade school, like, you know, and I was like, Mom, what's that song about the heart? Like, and I'd make her like find the music so I could sing it.
That's interesting.
Oh, and did you do this too? Because, you know, you couldn't just Google the lyrics. You would sit there and write down the lyrics. As like, pause, you'd like, go back, write it out.
You like record it on your tape recorder.
Yes.
If it came on the radio, you'd like push record.
Okay, I didn't do that. I just bought the damn tape or something.
Oh, no. See, when back in my day.
I know. 4 years.
You call the freaking radio station and you request a song. And then you sit on the radio with the tape and your tape recorder and you wait until they play the song. And when they play the song, sometimes they'll like shout out your name, like, oh, we got a caller, so and so requested this song. This song's for you, and then they'll play the song, and if it's your song, you like push record and play on your tape recorder and record it on a tape.
That's some like intense
That was back in my
dedication right there.
Yeah, and it was also really cool because my cousins and I, we would like that would what we do on like a Friday night when they would come over and hang out.
That's funny.
We would like sit and record our songs on the radio.
That's cool.
And I think that's what I loved about like my relationship with my cousins is that we all had the same interests.
Yeah.
Like because we were around each other so much.
Right.
We were all like one cohesive unit when it came to music or pop culture or anything. Like we all like the same things. So
yeah, that's cool.
we went in these phases where, you know, it was like boy band, single women artists, and then as we kind of went into like different genres, we would like branch out. So some of us went like the R&B route. Like I remember Rem used to listen to a lot of like Tony Braxton. Unbreak My Heart. You know Unbreak My Heart?
Unbreak my heart.
Tony Braxton. I went like
I don't
the
know
rock.
the names. That's so funny.
I went the rock route, and I was listening to like a lot of just like punk emo, and then my cousins also listened to that too.
I had a huge punk emo phase in high school.
Did you?
Yes.
It was the phase back then.
Yes.
Like there was like different phases, and there was a show on MTV called TRL, Total Request Live. Oh my gosh, I'm so dating myself right now. And that's where we got a lot of like the up to date music.
Right.
Like it was a countdown, the top 10, requested music. And I remember one year it was like the top 3 was like between Eminem, excuse me, Eminem, Limp Bizkit, and anything like a boy band like NSYNC or Backstreet Boys or something. Britney Spears was in there. Christina Aguilera was in there. Then you got people like Blink-182 was in there. So, I mean, I had so much exposure to music growing up that I just get a great appreciation. I had a CD collection.
So did I.
Oh my God. No, like a CD collection. Like I would say 500 plus CDs.
Damn.
Like no, I had one of those books with the flip.
Yes.
And then somebody broke into my car and stole my subwoofer and my freaking book of CDs.
Oh my
250
God.
CDs gone. Plus my subwoofer out of my car. Stole it out of the school parking lot. So yeah, that was my sad high school end to my high school.
What did
music.
you do?
Filed a police report and they couldn't do anything about it. So then I bought an iPod. And put all my music on iTunes.
And all our young listeners listening are like, what's an iPod, man?
I know. Don't you just listen to it streaming?
That's
hilarious. But you know what? Some of you young people, if we have any young people listening to this podcast, you guys have it so easy nowadays.
Yeah.
Music is at the tips of your fingers.
Yeah, you had to be in line at the store to get the CD the day it dropped.
The day it dropped.
And wasn't even dropped, released.
Yeah, released. You had to go have your parents go to the store.
Yes.
It was typically Walmart. Go pick
Or
up your
Target.
CD. Oh, we weren't rich enough to go to Target. It was always Walmart. And get the CD.
Yes.
Because it would sell out.
Yes.
And then you don't have the CD.
Then you don't. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yes. And then you would sit there and like some of them would print the lyrics on the inside. Like
yes, but not all of them. Not every
them.
time. And then you'd be like, oh man.
Oh no! Now I gotta sit down and.
Sometimes they'd be posters. Remember the inside of the CD case would be a poster.
The first NSYNC like liner was a poster.
Was it?
Of them, yeah.
God, NSYNC was great. Oh, speaking of NSYNC, what was your first concert?
My first concert by myself.
First concert.
Circa 2005, October. Honda Civic Tour, I believe it was, with Fall Out Boy. I remember going to this concert at the House of Blues at the Mandalay Bay. and my sister had band practice. It was a Tuesday night.
Oh, and
I
I remember
her
this.
up.
You're so mean.
Kathy, remember this story? I called her up at the concert, and I like went to her. It went to her voicemail, obviously, and I recorded a song that Fall Out Boy was singing. I was so proud of myself. I was so mean. I think if I remember correctly, and I'm probably getting my concerts mixed up, but it was a damn good lineup. It was Panic at the Disco, but they were tiny band opening for Fall Out Boy. First time I ever heard them was there. I believe Motion City Soundtrack was there, which was another favorite band of me and Kathy, my sister, and then Fall Out Boy. It was an all-star freaking concert, and I just felt like a grown-up. I was like 18 years old, went to the House of Blues by myself, mind you, and just enjoyed this freaking atmosphere of concerts. It was glorious, and then I was hooked. Anytime a band that we listened to came into town, we would go. And I think the first one I took my sister to was a Yellow Card concert. Kathy, you're going to have to correct me on that. But I think it was a Yellow Card concert or an All-American Rejects concert.
Damn.
Yeah. And it was two concert venues, either the House of Blues at the Mandalay Bay or the Hard Rock Hotel. It was awesome, man. It just brought back so many memories. Here's another story. The Yellow Card concert, I went with my buddy Josh. We called him Butters because South Park was big back then, and he looked like Butters in South Park. And my buddy Travis, who you met, Travis.
Yep.
We went to the Yellow Card concert at the House of Blues, I believe. And we were in the pit, like not moshing. So Yellow Card's not really a big mosh. So for those young people, mosh pit is just the people who are standing in front of the band on the floor. Some of these heavy metal rock bands, they have a mosh pit, and people will just like run into each other. They'll punch each other. They'll just kick and thrash and do all these things. Yellow Card, dangerous, very dangerous. The Yellow Card concert, there wasn't a mosh pit, but everybody was just packed like sardines on the floor. And I just remember leaving that concert with Butters and Travis, soaked with sweat. Not only my body fluids, but other people's body fluids, beer, spilt all over. But it was one of the best experiences I ever had. Because it's just a bunch of people your age screaming lyrics and just feeling the vibe.
If we go to a Yellow Card concert, because aren't they going?
They're going on tour, but they're not coming here.
Did they release their thing already? Yeah. Where are they going?
I think Chicago's the
We
closest.
can go to Chicago. So if we go there, do you think it's going to be the same vibe with all us old people
it's
now
going
standing?
To be mid-30-year-olds.
Just checking.
Just jamming. Here's another shout out. Sorry, I got so many stories because it just opened up a box of just memories. Newfound Glory is another one of my favorite bands. And my really good friend Jimmy, who was a dentist, he's an orthodontist. But he grew up with one of the guys in Newfound Glory in Florida.
Wow.
Yeah. So he knew Newfound Glory from their inception. Whenever Newfound Glory comes into town, he goes and hangs out with them, with the band, because he goes and hangs out with his buddy, the drummer. So one time, he's like, "Hey, Newfound Glory's coming to town. You want to come hang out?" It's like, "I'll get you backstage." I was like, "Abso-freaking-lutely." So they're playing at the Rave down on Wisconsin in Milwaukee.
Now it's the Eagles Club or something.
It's still the Rave.
Is it?
It's still called the Rave, but it's called the Eagles Ballroom. Is one of the rooms that they have concerts in. So he's like, "Hey, let me know when you get here." So I go a back entrance, for VIP. Freaking takes me to the green room where Newfound Glory's hanging out. I'm shaking hands with the band. I'm trying not to fanboy
look like
so
you are
bad.
right now.
Yeah. But I was just like, hey, what's up, man? Just like shaking their hands, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just freaking made the fuck already. I was freaking out.
I don't think I knew this.
Yeah, when we talked to Jimmy just like he'll just like brush it off because he knew these guys growing up, so it's not a big deal that he knows celebrities. Like for me, I was just like, dude, I freaking listened to you way back when, and like now I'm like I don't know how.
Now I'm your friend because I touched your hand.
I'm like 30 years old, and I'm just like fanboying.
It was
and just
not
like,
4 years ago.
No, it was.
No, because okay, whatever.
It was. I think it was when I moved back into town. I'll have to look at my photos.
Yeah.
It was obvious. It was when I moved back into town. Like that was like 4 years ago.
Damn.
Yeah. 4, 5, 6.
I
Almost
think it was
6
a little
years.
longer because
Okay, maybe 6. Maybe 6 years.
Whatever. Yeah.
Whatever. Anyways, yeah, dude, that was so glorious. Funny. But anyways, off track.
Yeah.
What kind of music you listen to right now?
Whatever you listen to.
My Spotify.
What?
My Spotify playlist.
Spotify?
Molly always asks me, "Hey, can you make me a Spotify playlist?"
Yeah, and you have yet to make me a
Babe,
Spotify
anything
playlist.
that I
and
listen
guess
to
what?
on Spotify.
Wait. And guess what? Spotify listened and made me my own playlist from you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so our music platform of choice right now is Spotify.
I feel
used
like
to be Apple Music. Apple, I can't even talk right now. Dude, the sickness is getting to me. My lips are just like freaking butter. My lips all feel like butter. Apple Music.
I have a problem like picking out my own music because like I just kind of go to what I'm used to. But then I'm bored with it. Like, you know. And so I really enjoy just being like, hey, just send me something. And I love every time we're in the car and you turn on your Spotify. And I just love the music you turn on. So then I go and try to do the same thing and it doesn't work for me.
That's funny.
Or like you introduced me to Yellow Card. I didn't know what Yellow Card was.
And she loves
I
it.
learned Yellow Card at our wedding. It was like one of our final songs. Shout out to Harry O for like doing that without even knowing that you loved Yellow Card.
Loved it.
And I loved it. I felt like I knew the song right away. And now it's like, but then I like got in this funk where like, that's all I listened to. And now it's like, okay, like, not that I'm over it, but like, you know, you need to mix it up.
Else. Yeah, for sure.
Just ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, let's change it up a little bit. This girl yesterday, when we were working out, she was like dancing with Conrad. And then I was like, you know what, Conrad, let me introduce you to Mom's song. So I turned on Super Freak Girl or something.
Super Freak.
Yeah, by who is it? Cardi B?
No, it's Nicki Minaj.
This girl got
it's
ratchet.
A ratchet song.
She got so ratchet. She dropped it low like she did at Kathy's wedding yesterday in front of our son. I'm like,
it was great.
Keep it G-rated.
It was great.
Kid doesn't even seen that
It's
stuff.
sad because I know every word to that song. And if you know that song, if you don't, look it up, but don't.
She said that if we're going to go karaokeing with some friends, she's going to
I'm totally dropping that song. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I know almost every single lyric. It's great.
So let's get a little serious.
Okay.
Let's tone it down just a little bit. Let's come down to earth. I know music invokes emotion and music kind of brings out certain feelings, maybe certain memories. Mm-hmm. Do you ever find yourself when you're in a certain mood, whether it's happy or sad, or you just need a pick me up, that you try to use music to enlighten the moment or to kind of ease the moment, or what do you do?
Absolutely. I think for me, music has been so much because from my time in the Catholic Church, that's how I felt like I was praying. So like that really brings a lot of emotion and things for me. But then from just a general standpoint, you know, when I was, you know, struggling in college and stuff, like that was my emo phase. So like I had that song that would just make me cry or, you know, whatever. And so now even still, like if I hear that song, it's like, ooh, I kind of get back into that feel. Mm-hmm. Even if I'm not sad or depressed or anything, it's like, ooh, you kind of just get that like that you just feel everything the same as when you first heard that song and it hit you.
I was
right?
gonna say, when you hear songs now, does it and it invokes that memory?
Absolutely.
Do you go to that time in your life and it just feel a rush of emotion?
Absolutely.
Isn't that crazy how music does that?
Yes. So yeah, and I think that's maybe why I struggle like finding songs that I like to listen to right now.
Yeah.
Because for so long I was listening to like so much of that emo like music. So like I don't always know how to find that upbeating, like, you know, because I was so like into that like
Emo.
Secondhand Serenade, Chiodos, like, you know, like
Dashboard
just like yeah.
Yeah, I hear ya. I think there's some times when a song comes on and then I remember a certain moment in my life when that song was playing and what I was doing.
Yes.
It's kind of scary because
it is because it feels so
connected,
vivid.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that's the cool thing about music though, is that you gotta appreciate it because I think it does invoke a lot of good emotions.
Yeah.
Maybe for some people, I've actually heard of some people who have like Alzheimer's, and then they'll play like a music from their time, and it almost brings them back to life.
Yes.
It's crazy.
I've heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
There is something called music therapy though.
Oh yeah.
I heard.
Yeah.
Like, for people with Alzheimer's.
Yeah, and even like people in like nursing homes and stuff who don't have memory issues, like they have music class just like we did when we were younger because it brings up so much.
Makes like maybe enlightens them a little bit. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
Do you have a song or like a playlist or anything that gets you hyped or like you're just it gets you in your good feels?
I think lately I just kind of been going back to the emo, the punk. I want to say emo, the punk rock.
Yeah.
Pop, punk rock. Say that 10 times.
Pop punk rock. Pop punk rock.
Pop rocks.
Pop rocks.
So yeah, I think I use that to like pump up whenever we're working out, before we work out. I did have a phase where I was listening to Linkin Park a lot, and just like Breaking the Habit was just like my main song. I would turn that song on and then I would just like throw my hood on and I just like freaking get in the zone.
Oh, do you get in the zone a lot?
AutoZone?
No, like the zone in your music a lot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever get anybody who like turns a song when like you're really in the zone and like just feeling it?
You want to share with our listeners?
Yeah, I mean, do you guys have somebody in your life that like you're just feeling a song, you're belting it out, or you're just like you're dancing like a white girl? That's me. And you're just like, yes, this is a bad song, and then all of a sudden it's like to the next song.
How was that?
That was good. That was the track flipping.
Oh my. Okay. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, he does that to me all the time. Like he'll be like, come on, Molly, let's feel this song. And he's like trying to dance and stuff. And then when I really feel a song, he's like, nah, pass.
That's funny.
Every time. I would say 9 times out of 10. Wow. Unless it's super freak. And then you let me have my ratchet moment.
Yeah. No, I think the reason why I do that is because it's not getting us in the mood.
It's getting me in the mood. Oh. What mood are we looking for here?
The pumped up mood.
I mean, it gets me pumped. It's not always emo music or like slow music. Sometimes it's like Eminem and I'm just dropping the beat, or Drake and it's like, what's that one song I sing by Drake?
I don't know. You my dang,
no? What? Do that again.
You the best.
Oh, okay.
You the best.
Yeah, it was weird at first.
We can't play any music because we're gonna get freaking censored.
Oh, sorry.
But no, you can sing it. You just can't. We can't play it. I was gonna play it.
Oh yeah. No. You just kind of did it weird, so I didn't pick up on that too.
Was the intro? You gonna be my everything.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, one last thing. Let's talk about musicals. I see you have a Lion King musical Cup. Is that your favorite musical?
No.
No. What's your favorite musical?
I don't know if I have a favorite.
Oh, I know.
What?
Annie.
Jay has this thing that any redheaded person
Is her cousin.
is my cousin or my favorite or my person, whatever.
Literally every time I see a redhead in public, I'm like, "Hey, Molly, look, it's your cousin."
It's your cousin.
Hey, ask how your cousin's doing.
Actually, speaking of Annie, I think that was my first musical I went and saw.
Really?
Yep. My mom took me with my grandma. We sat in like the second row. It was great.
That's awesome.
I loved it. I'm pretty sure my face was like big old smile, like just like, looking up the whole time.
On stage.
No, I saw Daddy Warbucks fly open. I didn't see
what?
anything. Daddy Warbucks had his fly was open when he came on stage.
Oh my gosh.
And like he had to like walk back off
staring?
and like no, he couldn't see. I don't
was
remember seeing anything. I just
staring.
remember him like having to turn back around and like go on the side and zip
That's
himself back
funny.
up.
What was my first musical? It was in elementary school. Little Mermaid.
That was not a musical.
Oh really?
The frick, man!
I don't.
Like that just came out as a Oh my god!
I don't even know.
He just said Little Mermaid
No, it
because
wasn't
that's
musical.
his
That wasn't a
favorite.
musical. I don't know what my first musical was. I don't remember. I used to watch musicals
On what?
on DVD.
There's no DVD musicals.
Yeah, there
Like
was.
what?
Like Newsies.
Oh no.
That was one of my favorite. I think that might have been the first musical I saw on DVD, actually.
That might
was
have been my
Newsies.
first too, actually.
Yeah. My experience in musicals, though, a little shout out again to one of my buddies, Daniel. We took a trip to New York, and I was talking to a guy who played as Elder Cunningham in the Book of Mormon musical. Daniel wanted to go see Book of Mormon because he loves Book of Mormon.
What do you mean you were talking to this guy? Like
I just
over
on Instagram, I was just like, "Hey man,
Oh.
like we saw you. Like I don't know, did we see him in Milwaukee first? We might have seen him in Milwaukee when Book of Mormon came through, and we're just like hit him up like on
Gotcha.
comments and be like, hey, like great performance, because Elder Cunningham in the Book of Mormon. If you haven't seen the Book of Mormon musical, Elder Cunningham's kind of like one of the main guys who's really really funny. Anyway, so I hit this guy up and I was like, hey man, like congratulations, that was a great performance. And then we started talking, and I was like, hey, me and my buddy are heading to New York. What musical should we watch? Like, we probably will watch the Broadway cast of Book of Mormon, and one other one. What do you recommend? And then so he's like, look up Hamilton. It's a small musical off Broadway, but it's gonna be on Broadway in the summer of 2015. Look it up if you can get tickets. Go see Hamilton. You won't regret it. So I was like, okay. So then I told Daniel. Now we were dental students, so we were on a budget. We didn't have all the money to see two musicals. Granted, how expensive those things are, but worth it. Mm-hmm. So I said, Daniel, we're gonna flip a coin. Heads, Book of Mormon. Tails, Hamilton. It's about Alexander Hamilton. It's a hip hop musical. Okay, if you don't want to see it, but let's flip a coin. So he's like, okay, flip it, lands on heads, we're seeing Book of Mormon. I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. But then I started looking for tickets for Hamilton, like on the side. Daniel didn't know about this. So then I find some, decent tickets. It was the week that we were there. I buy them without Daniel even knowing. But then when we get to New York, I'm like, hey, Daniel, I did something, because we were kind of figuring out how much things were going to cost. I was like, I actually bought tickets to Hamilton too, so we're going to go to that on one of the nights. And so we're like, okay. He's like, okay, yeah. I was like, yeah, let's check it out. Like, sounds like a pretty good musical. So we go to see Hamilton, and they had just gotten on Broadway like 2 weeks before we went to see them. And we were sitting on the balcony, I remember, and we watched this masterpiece of a freaking musical. Mm-hmm. And I was just hyped because I was like, man, this is the first real like musical I've seen that's not like frou-frou. You know, I
Right.
don't want to say frou. I take that back. That wasn't like that musical kind of
Yep.
theme, you know,
Yep.
that you would see with most musicals. This was like hip hop. It was rapping. It was like break dancing, and it was like just awesome set. The turntable like
I
set.
know.
And typically after musicals, you would go to the stage door, and after the performance, which is outside, and it's the door that all the cast members will leave to go home. And there's usually like a barricade, and you can get the cast to like sign an autograph your playbill.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Daniel were like, hey, let's go to the stage door. So we go out there. One by one, they start coming off. Jonathan Groff, who played the king, who you probably know. He's like from Glee. He's in a couple other shows. Signed my playbill, and I took a picture. Daniel took a picture of me with Jonathan Groff. I think he got a picture of Jonathan Groff too. A bunch of the other cast members were coming out, signed our playbill, and then one of the last guys to come out, the
Who
man
wasn't
himself,
even a name yet.
wasn't even a name yet. I mean, he was a name with In the Heights,
Right.
But
like,
at this time,
right.
Hamilton, they had a great opening, apparently. Really hard tickets to get, but it wasn't hyped yet. The original Broadway cast studio album wasn't even out yet.
Right.
So people couldn't even listen to the songs before they went to see the musical. So we had no idea what songs they were singing.
Right.
And some of the songs were so fast, we couldn't even understand what they were saying. So out comes Lin-Manuel Miranda. Freaking hair's pulled back in the ponytail. He's like signing autographs. He comes to us and like signs my playbill, which is upstairs. And I was like, great performance, man. Like, it was awesome. It was brilliant, you know. And it's like, can I get a picture with you? And then he's like, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So Daniel snaps this photo of me with Lin freaking Manuel Miranda. And then this guy just like signs a few other like autographs and then just walks off. Nobody's mobbing him. Nobody's following him. He has no security clearance, nothing. Guy just walks home. He's probably going to hit up like a bodega on the way home and then like for a drink and then go home. It was nuts.
It's crazy.
So then we fly. Then the next day, I think we see Book of Mormon. We do the same thing. I had like, I forget his name. Another big, Gavin. He played one of the missionaries in Book of Mormon. Got a picture with him, signed too, on my playbill. But then, when we come back from New York, Hamilton blows up. Like absolutely blows up. They start doing like raffle tickets outside of the theater before every performance. Lin-Manuel Miranda probably can't just walk out a stage door and walk home anymore because he'll just get freaking mobbed. They closed down the street right outside Richard Rogers after every like performance because it's just so packed.
Wow.
So we got super lucky that we not only got autographs by Lin-Manuel Miranda, shook his hand, took a picture with him, but that I have in my hand autographs of almost all the original Broadway cast because George Washington didn't perform that night. The guy, the lead, George Washington wasn't playing that night. But like I have that piece of history now and also a photo to that. And that's
cool.
Loved it. It was so good.
Do you keep anything else from the musicals you see? Do you keep your playbooks?
Yep. I buy souvenirs. So I bought like the Hamilton book. I think I might have bought a Hamilton shirt. At the Book of Mormon, I think I bought the book. I think it's upstairs. Like there's a fatty book like this. Oh. And it just has it's almost like a picture book of the musical.
Yeah, I always get those too, but they're like thin.
Yeah.
I have the one from Annie and Cinderella that I saw, and then I had to get.
You have a Lion King blanket that you use.
I do. Yeah.
And a bag.
They sucked me in.
Yeah.
They sucked me into the whole. Yeah.
It's so cool though.
They're like, you can get all of this and a CD for $100.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got a piece of history.
Hey.
Yeah. I think what we need to do is we need to plan to go see a musical
We do.
together.
You were supposed to take me to Hamilton when it was in
Oh,
Madison.
in Madison. Yeah. Oops.
Oops. This guy has traveled to New York, Indianapolis, Chicago to see Hamilton and couldn't even travel an hour and a half. Iowa, whatever.
Iowa.
Same
And
difference.
Chicago. That's another story. We were just talking about that.
I know.
A couple of my friends again, Daniel McCara and Allison, we meet up in Chicago. Check into a hotel that has freaking bed bugs, and it changed our hotel room.
Yeah, that's a whole
Just
nother
for
story.
Hamilton.
Just for Hamilton.
Just for Hamilton.
Yeah.
I will say, boldly say, Hamilton was a revolutionary Broadway musical that brought hip hop to light. This is the first musical
On
to
Broadway.
ever do that on
Yeah.
Broadway. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And there will never be another musical like that. I don't think. Lin-Manuel Miranda is gonna have to like freaking pull out all the stops if he's ever gonna write another musical like that.
Right.
It was genius.
Yeah.
Absolute genius. But
Agreed.
any last things? Are we gonna get our kids into music?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's so good for their development.
Yeah. Are we gonna try to push them in like to a certain instrument, singing?
No, but I will
both?
push them to like continue something.
Unlike what your mom did. Wow, what a dig at your mom.
No, I know why she did that because I wasn't like interested in stuff. But I regret not being interested. So I don't want my kids to feel
just
that
give
way, just give up. So I think I would push them for a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Until they
that,
absolutely.
yeah, and there's a discussion to be had, and I'm sure me and my mom had this too. I just don't remember having that. I just remember one day I was playing, the next day I wasn't. That was how many years ago. But I also had like my voice as an instrument, and I was still doing that. So but I just think it's good for them to. There's so much studies done at their development, and stuff is so much better when they know music too.
Yeah. You have a beautiful voice.
All right, now I think I'm getting sick.
I like when you sing to me.
Oh, thanks, babe.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's today's podcast.
Yeah.
We just talked about the arts, music, dance, theater.
We didn't talk about dance. That'll be another one.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about dance next time, and then maybe make a reel of Molly dancing, because she's gotten better. I will say that since she's met me, her dancing has gotten better. She's not as like stick figure-ish whenever she's doing. She's got some swag to her, but yeah. But yeah, this conversation, I think one of the things we wanted to highlight was that, music is, I think in our lives, music is critical. And I think it is something that we hope to keep in our lives, whether it's just randomly singing. One of the things that linked me and Molly together on our dating app was that I told her I would beat her at carpool karaoke.
Yeah.
And I think, because of that, we have this general interest in music.
Yeah.
And it's something that we can share together. So
Can I say something crazy?
I like crazy.
All my life has been a series of doors in my face. We sing this song all the time.
I walked into you.
I've been searching my whole life to find my own place. And maybe it's the party talking or the chocolate fondue. But with you, I see your face.
Okay, we'll sing a song for you guys.
Fine.
Maybe we'll
see, again, cutting me off. I'm feeling it. We're going into it. Cut off here. Perfect example.
I guess there won't be any video for the last couple seconds of this podcast, so we're gonna end it here.
Perfect.
This is Jay,
and I'm Molly.
From the Unscripted Conversations podcast. Thanks for listening, and as always, like and subscribe, and let us know what you think. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.